CTV News with Maya Johnson.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. The leader of the PQ took to social media twice in less than 24 hours to roll out what he calls an important announcement. Last night, there was no indication of what Paul Saint-Pierre Plamondon might say. This morning, a long written statement with a promise not to call a third referendum until after Donald Trump leaves office. A move drawing criticism from the other parties as the leaders gear up for an election campaign. Matt Gilmore explains.
With the specter of an unpredictable U.S. president in Washington, Paul Saint-Pierre Plamondon says a third referendum will have to wait until after Donald Trump leaves office.
Trump's tenure at the White House is not an ideal period to think about our future.
It's an idea the PQ leader has considered in the past. Now, his official position.
So if we have to choose within a period of 4 years, we will choose to discuss the future of Quebec later on after after Trump.
If elected, Plamondon still intends to hold a referendum within his first 4 years in office. His political opponents accusing him of trying to avoid debate on an unpopular position.
He's recognizing that a referendum would add a big layer, a thick layer of uncertainty on Quebec's economy. And therefore, he's suggesting to organize it at the end of a first mandate, which is worse.
He's kind of saying, you know what, we're going through a tough patch economically, so we'll stop discussing the referendum for now, and we will resume in 2 years. So it doesn't make any sense. He's actually proving that, Quebec is stronger within Canada.
Support for sovereignty is at a low point going into the election campaign, with just over 30% of Quebecers in favor, a number that mirrors the Parti Québécois' own support in the polls.
If you want to reach out to other Quebecers, soft nationalists, CQ voters, for instance, who don't want a third referendum on sovereignty, you have to change your strategy.
The campaign is just weeks away, and Plamondon says he hopes issues like affordability, homelessness, and mental health will take center stage, and not what he calls fear tactics.
I don't think Mr. Milliard and Christine Fréchette will be able to run a campaign through 50 days of just having no ideas, no proposition, and just trying to scare people. They might try it, and that's their campaign, but that's not what I'm going to do.
Despite today's announcement, the PQ leader's opponents appear determined to make the referendum question a ballot box issue. Voters go to the polls on October 5th. Matt Gilmore, CTV News.
A woman was killed in what police say is another suspected femicide. Police say the 41-year-old woman was stabbed to death yesterday in an apartment in Saint-Michel. A man in his 30s with stab wounds was found at the same location and was taken to hospital in critical condition. He's currently in a coma and police are waiting for him to recover so they can ask him questions. And it comes after another woman was killed in Saint-Michel on Saturday, allegedly by her partner. Montreal's Metro is turning 60, and today the mayor launched a new campaign to celebrate the system. But she also faced questions about expanding public transit. Kelly Gregg reports.
It's come a long way. Montreal's Metro opened in 1966 with 20 stops. The mayor at the time, Jean Drapeau.
We're very proud we will have here in Montreal a network of Metro to which no one will really be comparable.
And over its 6-decade ride, it's grown to 68 stations and given 11 billion trips.
When Montreal decided to build the Metro in the 60s, it had ambition.
To mark the milestone, there will be art installations and performances. While the mayor is celebrating 60 years of the Metro, she says it's obvious more public transit is needed. With the REM now in the West Island, she says next up should be Montreal East.
I live in the east part of Montreal. I've been east part of Montreal all my life. When you live at the end of the island, from there to the first metro station, you have 22 kilometers. So if we want to connect 10% of the population of Quebec, which is as big as the city of Quebec, we need a transportation that will bring us to at least la station Honoré-Beaugrand.
There have been studies about another REM branch or tram, but nothing has been built. And while the Blue Line extension is on schedule, the proposed Pink Line didn't get the necessary funding, derailing the entire project.
It's a good idea, technically speaking, the Pink Line. It's a diagonal line going through the street grid, so it's quicker than the car or the buses.
And according to urban planners, getting from one suburb to another, especially off-island, is still a challenge.
Transit cover well or reasonably well just a small amount of the mobility needs that we have. Everything else is like either you have a car or you don't take the trip.
With an election looming, the city wants all the provincial leaders to come for a ride.
I offered to the whole head of the parties to come and visit the metro.
Because after 60 years, the city wants to ensure public transit is on the right track. Kelly Gregg, CTV News.
Looking across the country now, people returning home to Summerland, BC are learning the true scope of the devastation. About 150 buildings have been partially damaged or completely destroyed by the Bald Range wildfire. Meanwhile, misinformation experts are warning that foreign governments are trying to sow mistrust about how Canada and BC have been responding to the fires. Rescue crews in Ontario are searching for a missing pilot. The plane disappeared Friday morning, and wreckage was found yesterday in a provincial park in the Muskoka region. Prime Minister Mark Carney and U.S. President Donald Trump have spoken about the ongoing trade negotiations, but still no word on whether the two sides are any closer to a deal. The U.S. Chamber of Commerce is against Trump's plan to impose 50% tariffs on Canadian goods. We'll have more national news on CTV News at 5:30.
Weather brought to you by Gratian Scaff. Second pair is a gift event including designer frames. A second pair free for a limited time.
Well, I did have a chance to take a little break outside earlier today, Lauren. It was beautiful. Blue skies and sunshine.
Yeah, exactly. Gorgeous day ahead of some nice weather for tomorrow, but we'll get to that in a moment. One of our viewers actually snapped a lovely photo at the Lachine Lighthouse, and take a look at that. So yes, today was a beautiful day to be outside. Thank you, Jerry Zampini, for sending that in. weatherpixpix@ctv.ca is the email address to send your photos and videos that are weather related, and I hope to share it all with our viewers. Now, we're currently sitting at 26 degrees. It looks like that was today's daytime high, but add in the humidex. Right now, it's not so bad. It feels like 29, but at some points today, it felt like 31. So if we take a look at what we're expecting tomorrow, it's going to feel a lot cooler compared to today. We'll get to that in a moment. Here's what we're forecasting overnight. We'll start to see a few clouds move in into the early morning hours, and we start our day off with that along with some showers. It's looking like the timeline for this is close to 10 a.m. So if you're headed into work, you should be in the clear around 9 o'clock. But from pretty much 11 until close to 6 o'clock, we are dealing with showers, the risk of thunderstorms, only seeing a daytime high of 22 degrees tomorrow, and the humidity is not going to be a major factor. So we're estimating around 7 millimeters of rain tomorrow with that risk of thunderstorms later in the day. Thursday, we're calling for a mix of sun and clouds, a high of 25. That's where we should be. Friday, beautiful sunshine, holding on to 25 degrees.
Still to come, is the PQ leader's latest strategy going to help or hurt the party? Our political analyst weighs in. Plus, social media in the spotlight. A child safety trial against Meta starts in federal court. And we go back now to our top story. PQ leader Paul Saint-Pierre Plamondon and his commitment to hold a third referendum on sovereignty within his first mandate if the PQ forms the next government, but now saying his party won't hold a referendum on Quebec independence while Donald Trump is president. So why make this move and why now? Joining us is political analyst Victor Enriquez. Hi, Victor.
Hi, Maya.
So just to set the stage here and give some background, you know, PSPP, as we often call him, comes out on social media last night with this mysterious statement saying he's going to make an important announcement in the morning, letting that suspense build. And then he comes out with this. What is the strategy here?
First of all, Maya, that's what you do when you want to bring back attention to you. And PSPP is very good at this, and it's a very clever strategy to prepare everyone to talk about something that he already said, in fact. Because what he's saying to us today is that there won't be any referendum as long as Donald Trump is in place. And it's something that was already said a few weeks ago. So I think Mr. Saint-Pierre Plamondon wants to bring him back into the discussion at a point where we know that within the next 24 hours, the discussion on tariffs is so important, then probably he knows how people in Quebec are scared of the fact that you have a referendum at the same time Donald Trump is attacking Canada with the tariffs, and the fact that probably this is a very bad timing to talk about sovereignty. We know that Quebecers don't want to talk about sovereignty more than pretty much 60% of the population doesn't want even to talk about it. So I think that he's trying to keep everyone not scared and making sure that people still listen to what he has to say, even if
he's
Donald
trying to
Trump
reassure
is probably
people.
the main subject right now. He's trying to reassure people, and at the same time, it's a dangerous strategy because he's showing many people that he knows that we need Canada today. And the point is how he's going to explain that we don't need Canada after Donald Trump if he says that we need our partners today.
It's interesting, of course, because as you pointed out, there's only about 30% support for sovereignty right now, and yet the PQ is leading in the polls, so people for the PQ but not for an independence referendum. So that's something that will keep coming up during the campaign, I'm sure. Did you want to elaborate on that?
Yes, you're going to see conservatives probably talking a lot about the fact this opens the door to a minority government, where the conservatives, for example, are going to be able to say, you can have the government you want, but without the referendum you fear. So I think that's another point. And you know what? At last, Paul Saint-Pierre Plamondon probably wanted people to forget about the Churchill Falls agreements that we heard about yesterday. And what a great day to do so by bringing back the subject to him.
Yeah, because that's a pretty significant deal, the Churchill Falls energy deal. Like, it's been a thorn in the side of the Quebec government for a long time because it's been an irritant to Newfoundland and Labrador. Now they've reached this agreement. The two premiers together, the Prime Minister, as you can see, was also there for the announcement. And, you know, she was getting all the headlines. Do you think this is enough to give her a boost, though, in the polls?
This could give her a boost. This is very good news, not only for Christine Fréchette, very good news for Mark Carney too, because this agreement gives us a lot of stability in terms of energy in the east part of the country. So I think, yes, it can boost her support, and it shows to the people that Christine Fréchette is able to get things done. That's what she's going to repeat through the campaign. So it's a very good deal. In fact, it's a very good deal for Quebec because, you know, this deal was negotiated by Hydro-Québec, and I think that whatever the government is going to be after October 5th, they're going to stick to this deal because it's good news for Quebecers.
All right, well, I think, Victor, the next time we speak, we will likely be officially in the election campaign, so I'm looking forward to it. Thank you today for your time, as always. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Maya.
Coming up, Ukraine's drones and the impact on the war with Russia. The Canadian Taxpayers Federation is calling on Quebec to scrap the carbon tax. According to their annual report on gas prices, Montreal drivers pay the highest gas taxes in Canada, or 61 cents in federal and provincial taxes per litre of gasoline. Quebec is the only province in the country that charges consumers a direct carbon tax, and they say drivers will be paying even more when Ottawa removes its brake on the federal excise tax.
Approximately 35% of the price of gas right now are mainly just taxes. And it's important to take in consideration that based on the projection that we have, by 2030, this percentage will increase up to 47%, since obviously the federal excise tax might come back as soon as September 8th.
Turning now to international news, Ukraine is bringing the war to Moscow following firing almost 800 drones at the capital region, hundreds of kilometers away from the front lines. About 180 of the drones were shot down. Over the past year, Ukraine has been focusing on long-range drones to pressure Vladimir Putin to end the war. Donald Trump claims the Strait of Hormuz is open and operating, and even posted a map labeling the waterway a new U.S. territory. Meantime, Iran still claims control of the strait. The crucial shipping lane has been a focal point of the Iran war, with repeated rhetoric on both sides causing confusion. And social media giant Meta is facing off against a coalition of states in a U.S. courtroom today. The case centers on allegations that Meta designed its platforms to be addictive to kids and to violate privacy laws. We'll have more international news on CTV News at 5:30. Up next, the Montreal twins born 2 months early and the hospital that saved them.
For breaking news and local news that matters to you, download the CTV News app right now by scanning the QR code on your screen using your smartphone. Or you can also go to our website, ctvnewsmontreal.ca. Download the CTV News app and stay on top of local stories as they unfold.
An increasing number of abandoned buildings.
Customize your feed and watch live wherever you are. ctvmontreal.ca, your home for news.
We're getting closer to the Caring for Kids Radiothon benefiting the Montreal Children's Hospital. A twin brother and sister who were born premature are now old enough and healthy enough to share their own story. Here's Christine Law.
He's the happiest kid you will meet
in the world.
Full of energy now, Evan Palacios Burke is 7 years old and has already endured 20 surgeries, most of them to help him breathe. Evan and his twin, Emma, were born 2 months early at the Montreal Children's Hospital.
Evan is 750 grams, Emma is 1,250.
Both babies spent weeks in incubators. Their mother, Ermelena Palacios, says she was in shock.
They have tubes, machines, wires, and I'm like, which one is which? Nobody is expecting to see a baby this small and still so frail, and the skin so thin.
So fragile, the twins couldn't be held for weeks.
You speak to them, sing to them, tell them you're here, they can feel you, they can hear you.
And then, with 2 teams of specialists, Mom finally got to hold her twins.
It was just the quietness of both babies, finally with Mom.
Emma was discharged after a few months, but Evan spent 8 months in the neonatal intensive care unit.
It was unbelievable. It was unbelievable.
Palacios says the staff at the Children's saved them all.
These people became family. These people knew everything about the children. They're like, you know, especially Evan, being there for 8 months.
Evan is a little hero. He's been through so much.
Dr. Sam Daniels says Evan was the tiniest patient he's ever operated on.
His resilience, his courage, and the incredible family that is so supportive, that is nurturing, that was there for him, and very difficult times for sure, because he's been through so many surgeries.
It's a toy.
Evan has more challenges in his future, but seems to have the energy for it. Emma is looking forward to grade 2.
I went to gym and I got to see my friends.
Evan and Emma are the spokes-children for the August 20th Caring for Kids Radiothon that benefits the Montreal Children's Hospital Foundation.
Come see us at the Radiothon.
Donations made to 514-939-KIDS and FondationDeChildren.com will help kids like Emma and Evan get back to making mischief. Christine Long, CTV News.
Just a wonderful story. Great to see their smiles. The Breakfast Club of Canada says there is a large demand for its services in Quebec. So it's launched an end-of-summer charitable campaign with a new ad pointing out 1 in 3 children in Quebec sometimes go hungry. The charity provides food to more than 105,000 school children across the province through nearly 700 school breakfast programs. And the schools with a free breakfast program say it has a positive impact on families.
The pressure on families and on children is very high right now and has been growing since the pandemic, like for everyone, right? The cost of food is really expensive right now. And so we've seen in the last year, first of all, the cost of food for the Breakfast Club to buy the food and the breakfast to transfer to schools has increased by 28%. But our presence of the children in our breakfast programs, our existing breakfast programs, has risen by 30%. So the pressure is really high right now, yes.
And time now for another look at weather. Lauren, it was a beautiful day, but there is rain on the way.
Yes, unfortunately, we will need our umbrellas and our raincoats tomorrow, but the reward is there because Thursday and Friday are looking lovely, even Saturday. So let's take a look at what we're forecasting over the next 24 hours. We will see a low of 18 degrees. This is on the warmer side. Typically, we'd be around 14 degrees. We do have a few clouds, and that is ahead of the showers that we're expecting around 10 a.m. tomorrow. Our wake-up temperature, 19 degrees. We'll hit a high tomorrow of only 22 when we typically be around 25. So a little on the cooler side. Add in the winds gusting from the southwest up to 40 kilometers an hour, plus around 7 millimeters of rain, and the risk of thunderstorms later in the day. It looks like the timeline of that is going later into the day as well, so we could see rain and thunderstorms up to almost around 6 o'clock. So just be prepared tomorrow that you'll be battling the wet weather.
Thanks, Lauren. Well, that's it for us. Mitsumi will be here at 6 o'clock with the latest on the obstacles encountered as researchers try to find out how homeless people are dying, and a man with amnesia in the Netherlands who people think may be from Canada. Now here's Sandy Ronaldo with CTV National News.